In 1984, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had not one but two options on how to tackle the Punjab problem. She chose Operation Blue Star to neutralise Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale, the most militant Sikh secessionist leader. And in doing so, she set off a chain of events that would alienate the entire Sikh community and ultimately lead to her own assassination. But before that, in April 1984, 2 months before Blue Star, Indira Gandhi had the choice of choosing Operation Sundown, a covert operation to abduct Bhindrawale even before he entered the Golden Temple. Deputy Editor, India Today, Sandeep Punithanan, has the exclusive details which are being put out in the public domain for the first time ever.
In 1984, Punjab was in turmoil. Militancy had spread across the state. A radical group of Sikhs, led by a fiery religious preacher, Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale, had declared war against the state. His group had already murdered over 100 civilians and security personnel. At that time, Bhindrawale, surrounded by heavily armed supporters, operated out of a guest house near the Golden Temple. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had been exploring every option to end Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale's influence on Punjab. And 2 months before Blue Star happened, she had to decide on a top-secret covert operation.
Operation Sundown. That was the name given to the covert mission to abduct Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale from the Guru Nanak Nivas, the building you see here behind me. Commandos from the special group of the RNAW practiced for months on a replica of this building that they had constructed in their base in Sarsawa, Uttar Pradesh.
It didn't get to play out, but this is how the operation before Blue Star was actually structured. The whole point was that commandos would rope down from specially configured Mi-4 helicopters. They would straddle down onto the roof of the Guru Nanak Nivas from that modified helicopter. That was step one of this entire procedure. In tandem, and part of step two, would be commandos moving towards Bhindrawale's living quarters on the top floor via these armored vehicles that would be dashing into this entire structure. And another unit of commandos would be rushing in again with vehicles in what was to be a concerted move. After this, they would extract Bhindrawale and get out of the Golden Temple structure as quickly as possible. This was the secret plan before Operation Blue Star.
Special group operatives had earlier infiltrated the Golden Temple disguised as pilgrims and journalists to study its layout. Then, for several weeks, over 200 SG commandos had rehearsed the operation on a mock-up of the two-storied rest house at Sarsawa in UP. Now, all that was needed was the Prime Minister's nod to action the plan.
On being presented the plan, Indira Gandhi had just one question for the planners. How many casualties? 20% of the attacking force and 2 helicopters, she was told. Indira Gandhi wanted to know how many casualties, how many civilian casualties would take place if Sundown were to be carried out. The planners had no answer. Mrs. Gandhi rejected Sundown. She cleared Operation Blue Star, little knowing that 83 army personnel and over 400 civilians would die.
Operation Sundown was to be executed by commandos of the special group that functioned under the Research and Analysis Wing, which in turn reported directly to the Prime Minister. The SG had been modelled on the elite SAS commandos of Britain. No wonder then that the SAS was directly involved in the covert operation that was planned to grab Bhindrawale. A lot has been said about the involvement of the SAS, which has been in the headlines for the last few weeks, but no one quite knows what exactly the involvement of the SAS was. Sandeep Punithan has scooped the exclusive details.
Official letters declassified in the UK in January 2014 mention how an officer from Britain's elite commando unit, the Special Air Services, was sent to India. Till now, the supposition had been that the SAS only helped with Operation Blue Star. But now it seems that the SAS had been involved with the aborted Operation Sundown. In February 1984, an SAS officer visited the Golden Temple at the request of Indira Gandhi and her advisor R.N. Kao. It was this British officer who drew up the final plan on how to capture Bhindrawale. This was the plan that the Indian commandos would have executed if given the go-ahead. The commandos of the special group were housed at the Sarsawa Indian Air Force Base near Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh and had trained for Operation Sundown. Though Sundown was aborted, some of the special group commandos who had trained for it spearheaded a near-suicidal frontal assault on the heavily fortified Akal Takht during Blue Star. The commandos stayed till the last militant was flushed out of the temple 3 days later.
गोल्डन टेम्पल के हमला करने से पहले 1 लाख बार नहीं 1 करोड़ बार सोचते किसी धर्म पे हम नुकसान कर रहे हैं, कितनी लाखों गोलियों के निशान हैं। मैं डेली आता हूँ, 30 साल से यहाँ पर आ रहा हूँ, मेरे को दुख होता है जब हम पानी की धुलाई करते हैं।
टैंकों तक अंदर उतार दिया हरमंदिर साहब के बीच में धार्मिक स्थान के ऊपर। ये नहीं ना चाहिए, टैंका का हमला जो है बहुत माड़ी बात है। टैंका का हमला करके तो इसको हटाने की कोशिश की, जो कि बहुत निंदनीय बात है।
Mrs. Gandhi rejected Operation Sundown because she feared civilian casualties. In June 1984, she sent the Indian Army into the temple for Operation Blue Star. Over 500 civilians died. Ironically, some of the commandos who were trained for Sundown were sent into the temple for Blue Star. It was a mission they hadn't trained for. With camera person Amit Kumar,